Our mission is to improve the health of the communities we serve. We have several values that are important to us as far as defining our culture and how we take care of each other before we take care of our patients and their families. When patients come into our facility, in a small community especially, they're more than likely someone's loved one, or friend or family of our employees. And if we can say at the end of the day we've treated everyone as we would want our own loved one treated, then we know we're going to do a good job.
Quality now on our agenda appears first. And it's there for a reason. It's there because of its importance. And it helps set the tone for the meeting that, hey, this is what we're focusing on, quality and safety of our patients. You recognize success by looking at the data each month, each quarter to see that, yes, we are making progress, and you can never take your eye off the ball.
Data collection and reporting is a challenge for us since we do have limited resources. Turning data into information. For it to be meaningful, it has to be used. And I think that's key no matter what size facility you're in, because we have more demands for data.
We joined CAUTI when the Arkansas Hospital Association approached us back in 2012. And at first, it seemed like an overwhelming project. But as we grew into it, we realized that it was very important to our hospital and our patients. I think it was just a process that we were unfamiliar with. In 2012, we had 932 days that Foleys were actually placed and stayed in a patient while they were hospitalized. Our year-to-date today is 358, so we have prevented 574 days of potential harm in our patients.
We have a performance improvement committee and we're tracking and trending various projects, but it starts with establishing your baseline. You have to know where you've been to know where you're going, and then when the baseline demonstrates an opportunity for improvement, well, we set a goal based on that. Everyone has to be working to achieve the same goal. Everyone should be informed of why we need to do what we're doing, not just what we're going to do, so that there is that buy-in and support from the very beginning.
We wanted to educate the medical staff, so we created a PowerPoint. We took it to them. We talked about CAUTI. We let them know what was the great thing about CAUTI, what it was going to help us to do for our patients. We created pocket cards that they could have right there in their pocket.
We created these Foley catheter cards. It will list you all the appropriate reasons for placing a CAUTI, the inappropriate reasons not for convenience, and if an inappropriate indication, what actions we're taking. And you can keep this in your pocket and it's a quick reference.
All right, thank you.
When they went to pick up the Foley kit, it would have a stop sign on it, and it would say, is this Foley really necessary? And so it gave them just a moment to stop and think, am I doing the right thing? We wanted to educate them on how to educate families that it's not a thing of convenience for the patient. It can be harmful. You don't want a Foley any longer than you have to. We have a multidisciplinary team that meets, and it includes a representative from every department. We discuss every patient, and every team member can give input as to what they've seen.
We tend to provide care to an elderly population that can be somewhat vulnerable, and so we encourage family members to make us aware of any time there needs to be an intervention by a nurse to assist with that patient. That partnering makes it a much safer environment for the patient.
A lot of patients want a Foley so they don't have to get out of bed. So in order for us to accommodate them, we had to put into place hourly rounding to ensure that the patient did not get uncomfortable, to give them a better chance of getting up, going to the restroom without having to lay there and be uncomfortable because they don't have a Foley.
She's having difficulty getting in and out of bed. We have used the bedpan, which is uncomfortable to her, and she would like to have a catheter put in. But we have explained to Miss Catherine that we don't put catheters in, Foley catheters in, unless they're absolutely necessary.
To change the culture, you have to change everyone's way of thinking. from the administrator all the way down to the folks who sweep the floor. Everybody who comes in contact with that patient, they have to change their way of thinking. And although we do our best not to have any complications, not to have any harms, it's going to happen someday. And so you can never let your guard down. You always have to think of the patient first.
Anytime you're successful in one project, I think you can apply those tools and techniques to another, go back and determine what worked well, what's the most efficacious way to provide education and training to the staff and the resources that they need to be successful. Those things can be very generalized. If it works well for one, you can use the same formulas for another